Alright, on some real talk, what I think needs to happen is probably a change that nobody expects. I think they need to blow up the U.S. Embassy, get this shit over with now. On some real shit. I'm sorry, because, hey, they need to blow that shit up. I said that shit in clean English. They can lock me up right now, nigga. I said the shit clean. They need to blow that shit up. They need to reorganize this whole government structure, man. And yes, you heard it from me. You know, these little kids, man, the way they growing up, man, they growing up with no resources. You know, when you got a, like she was saying before, when you got a mom and dad telling you no over and over, or they don't got money to afford that little toy gift you want coming up, it's really hard for you to really, you know, keep your attention on being a good person, you know. And like she was saying, I can understand where she's coming from, but you know, a lot of these kids don't have that type of they don't have that person that's sitting there telling them this is wrong. You know, instead they have to look for another mentor. It could be some dude on the street, like in my case, a pimp, you know. So I disagree with most of the things she's saying. And I had a dad. His dad decided to get locked the hell up. And the funny thing about it is he got locked up actually trying to put money in the house. Just to let you know how crazy that shit's at. You know, but it's true. So, you know, it all depends on, you know, it all depends on your background. It really depends on what the kid is going through. You gotta understand the kid. You know, a lot of these kids growing up in depression and crazy shit now. You know, you gotta understand, you know, you gotta understand like the kids like being. Like you gotta know what the kid want. A lot of people don't know what their kids want coming up. You know, sometimes your kid wants that toy. Getting that toy might actually change his whole future. You don't even know that. You know, if you want a junkie parent on the corner shooting up on the corner under a tree, you want to know what your parents want. I mean, your kids want. Let me correct that. You know, so my words of wisdom to make a story short for the kids is simply this. You know, you kids need to just look outside the box because your parents, man, ain't exactly your source, man. They might be a good source. You know, it starts at the home. But you need to look out the source. You need to go on that internet, Wikipedia, a lot of shit or something, or do something, because, man, the sources around you, man, are going to hell, man, slowly.
All right.
And I was going to say, some words of wisdom, I feel like, can't nobody hold you down but yourself. If you tell yourself, if somebody tell you can't do it and you don't do it, you hold yourself down. Don't nobody else hold you down but yourself. If you feel like you can do it, just go ahead and do it. Like, can nobody, we need to change the community. If you think you need help in the community and you think you need help in the school systems, you go help yourself. Work harder, study harder, but don't turn to crime. It's going to make you another black statistic. But yeah, go ahead and do what you gotta do, like stay positive, but don't go and do nothing stupid, like blowing up shit. It ain't gonna get you nowhere, but locked up under the jail where the majority of our black men are today.
Absolutely.
So therefore, stay positive, be a role model for that little brother, be a role model for your own parents. Parents seek, like when you do something positive, that parents want to see you succeed and do things that they couldn't do. So don't only do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your friends, do it for those people that couldn't do what you are capable of doing. So that's all I have to say.
All right, Mr. Terrence.
I used to be a lost soul too, a straight up lost soul, man. I ain't had nobody to kick no game to me, but I had to learn all on my own. I could say that I'm saved right now. I mean, in the concept of, in the aspect, I mean, just like knowing what's going on and knowing that, I mean, I got to do my thing. I mean, drop knowledge on these kids out here. You know what I'm saying? But it's me, myself, even though I'm saved, man, I realize that my peoples, they still looking for salvation. I mean, if they is looking for it, you know what I'm saying? They still looking for that. So what it's going to take is, I mean, everybody to recognize that, you know. So, I mean, so these kids, I mean, all right, you're pregnant, 12 years old. Your mom, your big sister, they all got kids and stuff, and none of the daddies are around. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask a question?
Hold up, you're stressed to school because of what's going on at the house. Your stepdaddy, you know, beating up on you, you know. All right. That's kind of like where I came from, and you know, I mean, it got to that point where it's just like me knowing that it's gonna take a drastic change for all these people out here to realize that what's going on. It's gonna take a drastic change to, you know, so you won't have to go through that no more. Going to sleep crying, or I mean, getting home late at night, 11, 12, something from work, you know, and you just a kid. You got the world on your shoulders. I understand that. We all understand that here. And you can fix all that. And I mean, you can get that with education. I ain't talking about education from these books and schools and stuff like that. I'm talking about education. I mean, everywhere you go, from the streets to the hood to even in these books. I mean, just play their game for a little bit and recognize what's going on, because they plot to kill y'all for real.
All right, Martini, back to you. Why does people think having a child at a young age is the end of the world? Can they use it as a motivational factor?
No.
I mean, what is the longest time?
I'm sorry. Like, I mean, you can use it as an experience to let somebody else know, you know, this was what happened to me, but that's about all. I'm sorry. It's not positive. You're 12. You're still a child. Your body's not even fully developed yet for you to have a child, and then your child's sick. And so you have this baby, and then you're 12, and so like you and your kids are gonna be like friends more so than parent and child. So then like it's gonna keep the cycle going and going and going. And then you're not. How can you take care of a child when you're 12? You ain't got no degree.
Absolutely.
And that's just gonna keep. And we know black people. They always talk about black people and Section 8 and welfare, and it's gonna keep black people on welfare because you're gonna have to do something to take care of your child because you're 12 years old with a baby.
Absolutely.
But you want to like better yourself. Don't have a child when you're 12, and you can do all right. Just wait, until you're 18. At least you got a damn degree. You can work at McDonald's somewhere for more than 20 hours a week.
McDonald's with a kid?
Okay.
So you done?
I'm done.
See, you never been there
We're
before.
going to talk.
Okay. I fully agree with Martine. There's nothing positive in you being young with the child. First of all, you depend on the system. You have no type of direction as to get an education or go get a job because you so worried about the system helping you, welfare, food stamps, WIC. You so worried about that you don't even worry about getting the knowledge of the baby, the developmental growth of a child or nothing. You don't really understand or even know what it is to be a mother because you work. Some mothers do that. They have babies and depend on the system. So I feel that you having a child is not, and the majority of the time, the women that are in poverty are young mothers that are in poverty because they don't seek the right jobs. They live by ends meet. So I feel that having a child young is quite ignorant. So therefore, women need to just
That's
seek.
to make the people like proud to be on welfare and they be rapping about it and using this shit because they so proud.
After he go,
I'm done.
all right. You missed that.
All right, I'm going to take the other side of this view, because a lot of people really don't see this view. Now, I have nothing against people with kids personally, but I don't like kids, so that's just the end of that story. But as far as, yes, I can. As far as this story goes, a lot of people with kids, the reason why a lot of them get on food stamps and stuff is simple because there are no resources available. When you're 16 years old, according to Florida state law, you cannot work more than 20 hours a week. You have to file emancipation papers, which I did file at 16 to even qualify. So a lot of these girls that run in this situation, a lot of them prefer to have older guys just because they hit 18, for a job. A lot of jobs are not available. Even if you want to take the legal way to work, you are not able to in most cases. And when you go job hunting these days and you don't exactly have no job experience and you're under 18, that's not going to exactly fall in the picture for you.
So are you saying that the reason why young girls get pregnant is because they can't find a job?
No, what I'm actually saying is not, it has nothing to do with the pregnancy. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm actually saying is, because she was talking about the dependency on food stamps and welfare, I was addressing that issue. A lot of these moms, are put in bad situations, probably before they even have a kid.
We're talking about surrounding pregnancy.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but like, all right, let me finish. You cutting me off now. Hold on, let me finish. Because do you remember from earlier when she was saying about how a lot of girls cling on to guys? They fall in love. They tend to have unprotected sex with the kid. That's how a kid comes along naturally. That has nothing to do with no food stamps or no welfare. That's just the storyline, straight up. But see, when they get in this storyline, they expect their father to actually play a role, because if he is the dad, he's supposed to play a role. But see, I probably say maybe 6 times out of 10, that is not the case. Daddy might jump across the border, he might just say F the kid, or he might say, hey, I'm under 18, I ain't got to do nothing. And that's what usually happens to a lot of these girls. A lot of these girls get disadvantaged. They start to depend on their parents for support. And their parents, knowing the system is going to tell them to file for food stamp, file for WIC, file for TANF, file for Section 8 housing if you get emancipated.
Or child support.
Or even child support, which is unlikely if he's under 18.
Yeah.
And I know this stuff because I done been through it, But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. But you have to keep in mind, though, a lot of these girls, don't plan these pregnancies. Like I said,